one, come on, to the circus bazaar. If you're into paranormal stunts and supernatural sideshow freaks, then step this way and witness into the world circus.
Veto watch. We are now about to enter into a new era in American politics, the likes of which we have not seen for years. We are now about to enter veto time. Over the last 6 years, during the first 6 years that he has been in office, President Obama has vetoed precisely 2 bills, neither of which are anything you have heard of. There were 2 non-controversial vetoes made for basically technical reasons on 2 very small-scale pieces of legislation, and that's for the entire course of his entire presidency so far. That's it. That's all he's done. But now, for the first time, the Congress is completely controlled by the Republican Party, and so it's veto time. The collision course between a Republican-controlled body that writes the bills and a Democratic president who has to sign those bills, that collision course is about to go boom. And it starts with what happened today. Today, the Senate, by a vote of 62 to 36, they passed a bill to try to force the approval of the Keystone Pipeline. This bill was Senate Bill 1. This is the first thing Senate Republicans wanted to do with their new majority, and today they got it done. Awkwardly, they scheduled the vote right in the middle of a troubling rash of big pipeline spills and explosions all across the country, including some brand new pipelines that are spilling and exploding. There have been at least 5 big pipeline spills and explosions just in the past couple of weeks. But they went ahead with the Keystone vote today anyway, and it passed. Our previous guest this hour, conservative Democratic Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill, was one of 9 Democrats who voted with Republicans on this thing. It passed pretty easily. The House already passed their own version of the Keystone bill earlier this month. They will now have to merge their bill with the Senate's version, but it's basically done. We are set for a showdown because President Obama has already said that he will veto that bill as soon as he gets it. Veto time is upon us.
I do want to get to the fact that the Senate has voted to pass the Keystone pipeline. And when we talk about keeping members in order, the bill was passed 62 to 36. There were 9 Democrats that supported this. This is something that the president said he would veto, perhaps not necessarily on substance, but in terms especially of process. Bennett, Carper, Casey, Donnelly, Heitkamp, Manchin, McCaskill, Tester, Warner. None of these, I think, Democratic votes are necessarily a surprise to the White House. But are we expecting a veto? And do you think there's been communication between the Senate Dems and the White House on this?
I am expecting a veto of this bill, but I'm not necessarily expecting the Keystone Pipeline to get blocked. If it remains financially viable, and that's in doubt given where oil prices are right now, I can see the president approving the Keystone Pipeline. He's not really against it, but trying to get something for it, some money for clean energy, some sort of offset, carbon offset by the Canadian government or by the U.S. Congress, ways in which he could walk away and say, look, this pipeline isn't a huge deal either way, economically or environmentally, but I got something for it.
The president's going to have to decide whether he does want a deal on Keystone, and the question there is whether he wants to worry about helping Democrats in the next couple of years, or whether he wants to worry about his legacy 20 or 30 years from now with environmentalists. In this situation, the Keystone vote, this is actually kind of a reverse of the immigration bill. The Keystone vote is a bad one for Democrats. It puts them on the wrong side of this issue. People are concerned about global warming, but as a whole, people don't see this as a big issue. Democrats are playing to a core base constituency and are losing an argument in public every time Keystone is talked about whether jobs should be the #1 priority right now. Republicans can use Keystone to make a jobs argument that confuses the argument that Democrats want to be making about global warming, which is this isn't about the economy or jobs. This is about our future, and we can have a prosperous economy while moving towards a greener economy.